Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am very excited to share with all of you 8 tips to make your curls last all day, even if you have very naturally straight, thinner hair like me. Hopefully these tips will help you out because I know curling your hair could sometimes be a little tedious and time consuming and for it to just go to waste with your hair falling flat. Today I thought I'd share 8 tips that I've learned throughout many years of curling my hair that I could share with all of you to make your curls last all day and even maybe over a few days. So thumbs up this video if you guys want to see any other hair care videos, my hair care routine, because I could do an updated one for you guys if you would like, and any other hairstyle videos if you guys want to see something like that. Definitely give this video a thumbs up, and that lets me know that you guys like the hair videos and you want to see more like these. Also, don't forget to hit subscribe if you are new here. I make 3 videos a week on all things girly and classic fashion, beauty, and lifestyle. All right, so I have a lot of tips to share with you guys that will definitely help you out. So let's get into the hair care tips. And I just wanna make a quick note before I get into the tips for you guys. I did wanna share my hair type, which I kind of mentioned earlier, but these tips, some of them are geared more towards if you have very naturally straight hair and also more fine hair. I know I have like a lot of it. I do have hair extensions in, but even my natural hair does stay with these tips. And I also do wanna point out that everyone's hair is different, but over the years I've learned that if you have very naturally straight hair, it could be kind of hard to curl and hold the curl, but these will help you guys out, and these have definitely been a game changer for me. Tip number 1 is rough blow dry your hair instead of blow dry it out with a round brush. And this will essentially help add some texture and grip before you curl your hair. So I have my blow dryer right here. This is the one I use. It's just part of the Dyson Airwrap, but I just use the hair dryer attachment. And this essentially is great for rough blow drying your hair. And what I found in the past is that if I try to use a brush or like a round brush, say they have like metal in them, and that will really help, say, blow out your hair if you want that smooth polished look. But if you're looking for your curls to last, I would then rough blow dry your hair instead of blow drying it, and like some people even straighten it first to like smooth it. But if you're looking for curls to last, you really don't need to do that, and I would skip that altogether if you're trying to achieve a long-lasting curl. So essentially, I just literally, just like you would think rough blow drying, I just, no rhyme or reason to it, I just kind of go all over, concentrating it in my roots, and then whatever is like left over from the blow dry will just go to my ends. But I really focus on the roots and really try. Sometimes I'll tip my head over and blow dry that way to add a little bit more volume as well. But overall, I don't brush it at all until my hair is completely dry, and that just helps hold the curls in the long run. Next tip is definitely try using a texture spray before you curl your hair. I know a lot of people, of course, love to use them after to style, but what I found with using texture spray, this is one of my favorites. I have a few different ones. I will link all the products as well below in case you guys want to check any of them out that are my top picks. But this is one that's in my rotation. It's by Amika, but what I do essentially is I will roughly spray this all over my hair, sometimes just give a little something in my roots. The key is to keep it light and do not spray too much of this. You know, it could be easy to want to just like spray a ton of this, but the more product, which I will get to in a second, you know, less is more with this. So I'll just spray it all over. What this does is essentially, again, adds a little bit of that texture, grip, and hold when you're curling it with the curling iron or whatever heating tool you're using. I use, for my curls, I will use my curling wand. If I want a wave look, which a lot of these tips apply to waves as well, I'll use my beach waver. But with any heating tool that you use, I will use sometimes like any kind of texture spray. Even heat protectant is super helpful and really important to use as well. I have a couple in my rotation again. I just got a backup of this, and this is from Drybar. Also, Beach Waver makes a great one too if you're using it for when you're doing your waves. But this is amazing, and I'll lightly spray that heat protectant to give my hair even additional hold, not just heat protection. Now, this next tip may not be for everyone, but it is just something to keep in mind. I find that if you have a little bit of color in your hair, if it's baby lights, even the tiniest amount of highlights, or any kind of hair dye in your hair, again, I know this is not for everyone, but it's something to consider if you have been on the fence about it. It may help your curls last. I know for me in the past, I haven't dyed my hair or added any color to my hair in quite some time. Actually, what's left on my ends is just leftover highlight from when I've got balayage and different highlights. So whatever's in my hair right now is just, there is still some highlight in my hair, so it is still holding, but I'm debating about getting some baby lights put back in just to add a little bit more texture in my root area here and obviously all throughout. But I'm thinking about doing something with baby lights, just something super subtle where you could almost barely tell it's there. But essentially anytime there's like a little bit of bleach in your hair, I always know that anyone who dyes their hair blonde, their hair tends to last so much longer. You can see the styles. My hairstylist actually confirmed it with me that she agrees that anyone with color treated hair, their curls just last so much longer. So it's something just to consider and keep in mind if you've been on the fence thinking you want highlights. Maybe you want to now, especially knowing it may help your curls last. Just a little bit of that added dryness and texture from the bleach, because I have, especially brunettes, I feel like have very just silky hair naturally. It kind of sounds counterintuitive, but drier hair tends to hold curl more than silkier, more moisturized hair. Tip number 4 is try not to overuse product. Essentially, I kind of touched on this before, but with all the different serums and oils and heat protectants and dry shampoos and hairsprays, I mean, just right there is just a few of the many products people could use in their hair. And depending on what style you are trying to achieve, absolutely. Sometimes some of the different products like a mousse or a serum is super important. But again, if you have very fine, flat, hard to curl hair, especially, I would try to avoid as many of those products as possible. I keep it just down to about 2 or 3 products after washing. And all I use is a heat protectant occasionally. And again, if I recurl my hair, I won't use it again that day as long as it's been in my hair and I haven't washed it. I will use, say, a texture spray and then a light amount of hairspray, and that is it. And they're all very lightly sprayed. I don't go in super heavy with hairsprays. I know in the past I used to think, like back in my dance competition days, or if I did like modeling and whatnot, I thought I had to like, or going to prom, like I would just overspray my hair with hairspray, thinking the more layers of hairspray, the better. But in reality, it's actually counterproductive because you're adding weight to the curls. And again, all that weight from all those layers of product, less is more, and definitely be sparing with a lot of those products. Tip number 5 is to pin your curls to cool. This is something I have been doing for many, many years. I don't always do it every time I curl my hair. Maybe I want just softer curls that, you know, not trying to get them to hold as long, because I just want a super easy, more like laid back, wavy look. That's totally different. But again, if you're looking for a bouncy curls like this to last all day, I highly suggest pinning them up, especially if your curls just fall flat within a few minutes of brushing them out. All right, I have my curling wand right here. This is the one I really love when I want like bouncier curls. This one is by T3. I will include details below. But essentially, once you wrap your hair around it and release, I will hold the hair. I do not let it fall. And this comes with practice. Even if you're using a clamp curling iron, any kind of curling tool that you're using, you just let the curl fall in. You could either rewrap it if you can't get it to like, get the hang of it right away. But you just rewrap it up while it's still warm. And then I just take a bobby pin. I have a few right here, and I just pin it right up. You could also use metal clips is what I used to use, but I just found bobby pins were a little bit more comfortable in my hair. And that makes it so much easier. All your hair is gonna be all pinned up, and then just let it cool. What I suggest doing is doing your hair first and then do your makeup or the rest of your morning routine. And that way they can cool as you're doing the rest of your routine. And then you just take them right out, and they just hold so much longer when I do this versus when I don't. Tip number 6 is make sure your hair is completely dry before you curl it. Now, I know this tip may seem so obvious, but there are so many times I have thought my hair, like I would wash it and then pretty much blow dry and think it is dry to the touch, when in reality it's really not. So really make sure your hair is extra dry before you start curling it. What I've learned to do is, like, say by the next morning, because my hair takes a while to dry, so sometimes there's some residual dampness from, I wash my hair at night most of the time, and then in the morning it's still sometimes a little damp, just depending on what time of, how late in the night I will wash it. So if I wash it too late and by the morning, sometimes there's just a tad bit of dampness. Definitely go over it with a blow dryer. Again, I just will use my Dyson and the hair dryer attachment here, and just go over, especially in the roots there, because I feel like hair could be the longest to dry in the roots. just go over your hair, a quick little rough dry right before you start curling it, just to make sure, especially too if it's like humid or you just took a shower and there's still like moisture in the air, it will kind of go over it really quickly to make sure there's any excess moisture gone. Tip number 7 is make sure you're using the right size barrel. So whatever curling tool you're using, make sure that you use the right size, because you could totally follow all these tips I just shared, but if you have the wrong size barrel for your hair, then really the rest of the tips are kind of useless because the curls are just gonna again fall. This is like really important. I love my 1 inch the best out of all of them. I just find for my hair, fineness of my hair, I really like the 1 inch for me personally. Sometimes I know some people may think like an 1.25 inches or 1.5 inches curling iron because they think they want the fuller look. But what I suggest doing is going down a barrel size and over curling your hair just a little bit more, because you'd be surprised at how much your hair falls within the first few minutes after you brush it out and everything like that. Because you'll see in the video clips of me curling my hair, when I take out the hairpins, my hair is pretty tight, but this is the result even after brushing it. It just kind of relaxes itself a little bit, and especially too, it may take you an hour or so to get to your destination. If it's in a special occasion or event, it will have its time to fall. So you do want to kind of over curl, especially if it's for an occasion, because it will definitely relax over time. So when in doubt, I would try the 1 inch curling iron. And if your hair is like really thick and like hard to curl, and like say it's fine hair but a lot of it, then maybe even try a 3/4 inch barrel if you want like a really full curl look. Just depending on that, I would definitely experiment with different barrel sizes. And again, even try pinning it up. You don't have to do that, but if you want it to last longer, then I would definitely pin it. And tip number 8, which is deep cleansing your hair. This may surprise you, but your hair sometimes, no matter how much you shampoo your hair and cleanse it and try to get it all clean, there are just some times where you have such a buildup of product in your hair from all the different styling products, especially if you use dry shampoo, that just builds up in your scalp and throughout your hair over time. So what I suggest is getting a deep cleansing shampoo. I have 2 favorites. One is actually a very recent find that my hairstylist suggested to me, and she said this is a game changer, and it totally is. At first, I have to say, she said it was a cream deep cleanser, and I was thinking the word cream was gonna be like really heavy and weigh down my hair, but it totally does not. It is insane. You think your hair is clean, but when you use this deep cleansing shampoo, it is insane how smooth and silky your hair feels. Sometimes you just need even like once a month or as needed. Your hair just has that buildup. No matter how much buildup there is, then your curls are not gonna last with all that weight to your hair. So it's really important to deep cleanse every once in a while. Now I will warn you guys that when you first use this deep cleansing shampoo and then the next day you're gonna curl your hair, because you have basically removed all the, thickness of your hair and the buildup of product that maybe was essentially making hair very voluminous, it may fall a little limp the first time you curl your hair after using this. So I would not use this like the night before a big event where you want your curls to last. I would do this probably about 2 weeks or so in advance. But if you don't have anything going on where you need your curls to last, then I would just do that at a certain time. But this just is essential to do, and I try to not do it as often because again, it does like kind of make my hair a little bit more limp the next day because it's just so silky. And again, silky hair does not curl well, so I suggest just, timing it right with any occasions or events going on. But it is definitely a game changer when you use it. You will be so shocked at how clean your hair feels after using it. So those are my 8 top tips. And I do want to also add that with all those 8 tips being said, sometimes the weather is unavoidable. So always keep that in mind, that if there's any kind of humidity or if it's a rainy day, sometimes you could try all the tips in the world. You could try any anti-humidity hairsprays, and in my opinion, those do not help at all. I don't believe in anti-humidity because I really don't think that there's no like humidity blocker, let's just say that. So if you do live where it's like extreme humidity or it's a super rainy day, sometimes you just have to know that in advance that your curls are not gonna last in a climate like that. If it's ideal weather conditions, these are really great tips to follow to help you out. And if you learned anything new, found anything surprising, or if you also do any of these tips as well to help you out of anything else that I haven't covered, let me know in the comment section below so everyone else can read through. It's like a little community and you guys could post any other tips or any of your experiences. If you have a certain one that you're gonna try out, let me know how you like it. And if you wanna see more hair care videos and you enjoyed this video to show support, definitely give this video a thumbs up and definitely hit subscribe before you head out of this video. All right, so I'm gonna end today's video here. I love you all so much and I will see you all in my next video very soon. Love you guys. Bye.